How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to Healing is Freedom podcast. I am your host, Venita Queen Abrams. And today we're going to talk about, what is it? The cost of not knowing who you are, whose you are, where you come from, and how you got where you are. You know, today in our community, a lot of our children and our people in general are just suffering because they don't know where they come from. A lot of our children don't even know their history. And my thing is, I've been told by this wonderful woman that I'm about to introduce you to, if you don't know where you come from, how can you get where you're going? Amen, somebody. So today we hope we are able to enlighten you on who you are, where you come from, and how to get there. And if you have an opportunity in life to learn about your ancestors, and even not just your ancestors, but your grandma and your great-great-grandma, sit down and take a moment and get to know where you come from. Speaking of where I come from, I'm about to introduce a woman that's been in my life since I was like 5 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dr. Nancy Ellis. How you doing?
I'm good.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy that you invited me. I'm honored to be here.
I am glad you're here.
Yes, Nancy Ellis-Robinson is my name.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You did get
Ellis-Robinson.
right. She got me.
I have to give honor to my late husband.
Yes.
The topic that you are speaking about is one that's near and dear to my heart. I don't know. I grew up with parents who were from the South, first generation city dwellers. They were from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
They were part of the Great Migration.
Okay.
And so they brought with them a lot of the ways of the South.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother came to live with us. She was born in the late 1800s. So they were not too far removed from slavery.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were older parents when my sister and I were born.
So it was just two of you guys?
Just my sister and I. I had an older brother from a previous marriage my father had, but just me and my sister were raised together.
Okay.
And so I've had a chance to visit Africa several times, and I saw many of the folkways of the Africans that correlated with my grandmother and mother.
So where are you guys from?
Pardon?
Where are you from?
Well, I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
My parents were born in a little town in Alabama.
Okay.
And I've gone to, like I said, I've been to 8 countries in Africa. I've been to Africa twice. I visited 8 countries. And out in the countryside, because Africa is changing, nothing stays the same.
No.
But out in the countryside, many of the old people still keep some of the old ways, and some of their old ways were really very similar to what I experienced as a child going to Alabama. My father thought it was important for us to know our family members, our heritage. So we went to Alabama every summer from the time I could remember until I became an adult. I spent my summers in Alabama. So as a consequence, I was indoctrinated into a lot of Southern ways, you know. People have often asked me, was I born in the South? And it's because I lived around Southerners, and I was taught a lot of Southern ways, which were transmitted from Africa.
So with those ways, Dr. Ellis, is that what shaped your hunger for knowledge and education?
Yeah. That was thumbed into us. Get an education. From Jump Street. When we were little kids, my mother used to walk us to the public library. And we would get books every Saturday. And we'd return the following Saturday to get another stack of books. That's where I got my love of traveling from. There was a series called Dr. Dolittle. And,
I remember Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, now you're telling the age. But anyway, and I was fascinated by the librarian stories about travel. And I always said, I like to visit those places. And so, my parents spent a lot of time with us. There was always an adult in our house. If my grandmother wasn't there, my grandmother was there all the time. My mother started working when we were probably like in middle school, but my grandmother was still always there.
So what, if you don't mind me asking, what delicate age are you right now?
I'm 81 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You look good.
Well, I feel good.
You look good.
I feel good. I have the
81.
81 years old.
Mm.
I have the wear and tear that comes with aging. I've had to have some repairs, but God has
But you're
blessed
still
me.
sharp. You know, I remember.
God has blessed me with good health.
And that's a blessing, because I remember when I was, so they don't know this yet, but Dr. Ellis was my 8th grade teacher. She taught me history. I was in her choir. Remember you did the choir at Guggenheim Elementary School?
Sure did.
I was in the Guggenheim Elementary School choir with Dr. Ellis. Not only that, she gave me my first job as an educator. You remember that? I came knocking at the door after college asking for a job, and she let me in, and that's what started my educational journey. And I remember, Dr. Ellis, everything that you did at that school when I got there, it basically conditioned me. It helped me. It grew me. It taught me. I know it's a lot of things that I took from your tutelage and just your I want to say mentoring, because you mentored all of us. I remember we went to this workshop, and I didn't know that there was 3 types of learning things. It's kinesthetic, auditory, visual.
Visual, auditory, and kinesthetic.
You took your whole staff when you was a principal there, and you taught. That was so life-changing for me.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to just take a moment to just thank you for all the love that you showed me and my family, actually, even my mama.
Absolutely.
My mama was the only son. You was the only someone that my mama would listen to.
I loved your mother.
So, and then my son went to school. So you just been in the family, and I noticed they used to call me Little Miss Ellis. You remember that, right? They used to say, "You Little Miss Ellis." Robinson. She wasn't Robinson then, but she was Miss Ellis then, and then she got a doctorate degree, and so now she's Dr. Ellis, and that's why I'm getting my doctorate degree, because Dr. Ellis got her doctorate. So I went. So I just thank you so very much. It's a pleasure to have you here. And so I thought about I thought about the condition of our people right now. And I said, who can very well tell us about how we can get it back together but Dr. Nancy Ellis-Robinson?
Wow, if I knew the answer to that, boy, would I get rich. Our people are doing well in some, all of us are not. I mean, there's so many good things that are happening in our communities. There's so many young people that are, like your son is an example.
Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of good things that are happening. There's a lot of pathology in our community, but the pathology is indicative of what's happening with the whole country, not just our people. Look at the president. I mean, the dysfunction in corporate America, the dysfunction in the White House, the dysfunction in both political parties. So we are part of the system.
Yes.
And we still suffer from the effects of slavery. We have not totally been, the country has never acknowledged it.
Yeah.
The country has never acknowledged what slavery did to us as a people, and we still are suffering from the effects of 400 years of bondage.
Yeah, the whips.
Being set free without any support.
Yeah.
Being promised support, and then having it yanked away, and the money given to the slaveholders. But I think we are an amazing people that, in spite of all of that, we have been able to, we're still here, we've been able to survive. We've been able to create lasting institutions.
Yes.
We have created, in spite of all of the things that have happened to us, we have created lasting institutions. Just like this weekend, your sorority, thousands of black women are meeting, meeting, your sorority does a lot of good things.
Yes, and that sorority is, by the way, is Delta Sigma Theta.
Yeah.
Sorority Incorporated.
Right, she's a Delta.
Yes, and do you know, Queen Latifah is now A Delta UNITY. Ooh. Yeah, I just had to throw that playlist.
Right, but that's just an example.
Yes.
Of the many good things.
Yeah, that's happened.
And you have a tendency to focus in on the pathology.
Mm-hmm.
Now there, there are some people, and I mean, there's some of us who really have issues. Part of it can be traced back to the crack epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
The number of young women that had children and didn't have the capacity to nurture them. Mm-hmm. And those children now are having children. Mm-hmm. So it becomes generational. And then people may disagree with me at the advent of some of the music that our kids listen to. Mm-hmm. It's not like NWA when it first came out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Some of it has been counterproductive, I would say. It has been counterproductive, giving our kids a false sense of life, the easy money and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But again, I say, even in spite of all of those things, like Maya Angelou, that poem, Still We Rise, mm-hmm. in spite of it all. I look at the big picture that in spite of all of those things, we still rise.
Yes, we do.
Now, I think this current administration is going to be a blessing in disguise because they're taking away so many support systems that people have relied upon, not just Black people. But I think it's going to cause us to focus and to begin to become more involved in what we have to do to survive.
Speaking of survival, we're hoping that it's very hopeful that will happen to our people.
Yeah, well, it's happening. It's happening. People are joining together. There are people who are starting African communities. There's a family in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. They got some land and they're building their own community. There's several that build communities.
Yeah, well, that's good. Speaking of communities, I want to ask a quick question. Still, we want to go back to your past a little bit. Mm-hmm. Were there moments when you felt the cost of not knowing as a child? And if so, how did that affect your self-worth and your opportunities? Back in the day, was there times where you felt like you didn't know?
Well, I can relate to being told I didn't know. Mm-hmm. When I graduated from high school, we were given a battery of what I guess are the ACT tests now. We had never seen this stuff before. Mm-hmm. We had there was no preparation. They just came into our school and gave us all these tests, and I obviously didn't do well on it. Mm. And so all through school I was in honors classes in high school. I was the top of my class when I graduated from elementary school. So academically, I had always been successful. Mm. But when my counselor told me I was in college material, and that I will never forget. He told me my manual dexterity was good, and that I should get a job working with my hands. And then
what?
His name was Norton Friedman.
He's throwing names.
I remember Mr. Friedman, and I found out he told most of my. Years later, I talked with other people. He told them the same thing. But I was just crushed, because nobody had. Fortunately for me, all of my elementary school teachers were African Americans. It's not the same today. Uh-huh. Most teachers today are white. Our kids are not going into education. But most of my teachers were African Americans, and they were encouraged. I was encouraged. I went to Wendell Phillips High School. Uh-huh. Majority of the teachers were African Americans. I was encouraged, and then this man tells me that I'm not college material. And I went home and told my father, and my father didn't respond to what he said. He asked me, he said, what do you want to do? And I told him, I said, I want to be a teacher. He said, well, be one then. And that was it,
Didn't even give it no energy.
Didn't give it any energy,
So was Black history really taught a lot back in the day?
Not really. Just basically, I think the movement now, I think more now is being taught than what back, we would have Black History Week, and they would just bring out the same people, They would bring out the same people, George Washington Carver with the peanut, and and Booker T. Washington with Tuskegee Institute, Mary McLeod Bethune. It was like these people just popped up and did something. Not, they didn't teach anything historically, but it's beginning to happen now. A lot of schools, I know 2 states have mandated the teaching of African American history.
I mean, but here lately, I heard that they said that they were taking Black history. A couple of years ago, they took Black history out.
Oh, they are taking it out.
Right.
They don't want that, but I'm just saying. When I was going to school, that was very little Black history. I didn't find out some things until I started teaching myself. When I started teaching, I think that's when I really, and I went to the Center for Inner City Studies. That's when I really learned what I didn't know, how much I didn't know about our history,
So when you learned what you didn't know about your history, I know you say that you were encouraged and all of those wonderful things. Did it even make you stronger when you started finding out about?
Absolutely.
So with one person, who was one of your idols from history, Black history, and why?
Let me see. I'd have to give that some thought. I respect Booker T. Washington because he created an institution for people, and I respect, that. I'd have to really give that some thought. People that created, something out of nothing. I respect most of them. I'd have to really. I really can't say who inspires me the most. There are so many. There are so many. Like Cheikh Anta Diop. I'm inspired by his work. He's an African, Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop out of the University of Senegal, and I had a chance to sit at one of his lectures. And finding out about how historically Africans have been involved in the creation of many things, and how Europeans have systematically tried to hide that information. So
that's amazing. When I found out that Black people weren't slaves first, it gave me an eye opener.
Absolutely.
When I found out that we were kings and queens first, who ruled first, who enslaved first, that opened me up. That made me feel. Do you know, when I went off to college, I'll never forget this. I had never experienced racism. I was from Inglewood, on 72nd and Main Street, and I've never experienced it. When I went off to Northern Illinois University,
oh my God,
when I was called a nigga, when I was told to niggas need to go back to their slam, hell is where they should be. I've never heard the word slam before, but I guess they was talking about something. When I was coined in my dormitory and could not get out because I was with this group called the Anti-Glitton Society. And they were fighting. They were white guys, white yuppies with long hair. And I'll never forget us fighting for the rights of blacks. And when I found out that we had power, I started reading Black history and studying Black history and finding out about the Aztecs and how Egyptians, and I mean, it really made me feel so proud. So I put my hair in 2 ponytails. I walked around with a boom box that was playing back in the day, I'm Black, y'all, and that's a fact, y'all. And if you try to take what's mine, I take it back, y'all. It's like this. And I was going around, I was being mean too. I would push somebody, act like I didn't push anyone that was white. And I had to calm that down because I had a sense of self. I had a sense of knowing. I understood where I came from. I'm like, okay, I wasn't a slave. I wasn't a slave. Oh, okay, so I was a queen. Oh, okay, so now my narrative was changed, and it made me research more and more and more about our people. And I love it when Maya Angelou says, "Still I rise," and when she started, so that opened me up. I started reading. That's one of my favorite poets. Poet. Period. Phenomenal woman. She got a lot of different. So it made me. It enlightened me.
Oh, absolutely.
It made me feel more proud about being who I was.
Absolutely.
And I found out then whose I was.
Yeah.
I was part of a kingdom,
Absolutely.
a queen, you know. I call myself queen to this day. You know, my ancestors were kings
Right.
and queens, not slaves.
Absolutely.
You know,
well,
so,
the way history is taught in the United States does everybody a disservice. It's taught that the Pilgrims came over and they discovered America. But all that's changing. It's changing. The narrative is changing. They're fighting it, but it's changing. You know, and African Americans are not just saying that. Other ethnic groups are saying, "Hey, what about us?" You know, particularly Hispanics, because they are large. They are the largest minority group now.
Yeah.
But they're demanding that the truth about their history be told.
And it's not wrong with
if
that.
you go, and it's absolutely not.
It's not wrong with that.
If you go any place Southwest, all of the towns and the streets have Hispanic names, and people have never stopped to wonder why. At one point, that was part of Mexico. That was part of Mexico, you know. And so, as an African American, I think it's so important that we teach African American history to our kids, you know, so they'll know where they came from.
And how can you? I'm glad you said that. How do you view parenting today, and as it relates to education? And what are some of the things right now that you can tell parents to do so they can start teaching Black history in the house if they're not already?
Well, if they don't know, well, you know what? Let me tell you, there's so many venues available today that were not. I mean, the internet.
Yeah.
The internet. The internet is boundless. It's good and it's bad. But there are so many people and so many institutions. It's like Harvard. Harvard is offering classes on a civics class free for the whole nation, so people can learn how the government is supposed to operate. That's an example. But there are so many legitimate places that you can really go on the internet now. If you want to, and there's tried and true books. The books are available. You know, like I think everybody should read The Destruction of Black Civilization by Dr. Chancellor Williams. And I mean, it talks about how at one time Africa really ruled the world. African nations ruled the world, and how systematically and a lot of it has to do with the climate, the type of people, the type of people that lived in a cold climate, the type of personality, warrior mentality that was developed for survival. Because Europe has nothing. What does Europe grow? What does Europe produce?
Right.
Nothing. So in order to survive, they have developed this warrior mentality, and with it a sense of superiority, which enabled them to go to conquer Africa that has everything. And Africa has everything. It has all the minerals. It has all of the gold. It has all the silver, all the diamonds, all the lithium, you name it. It's found in Africa, and the food, different kinds of fruits. Just name it.
So what would you tell parents today? What would you tell them how to just encourage their children, or as well as themselves?
Well, what I would tell, and I saw this before I retired. Our parents today need to treat teachers as not as adversaries. Something has happened in our community with many, not everybody, but many people view teachers as adversaries. That was what I saw before I left. They said, "Now, this teacher doing anything, you let me know." What is that to tell your child? I mean, what is that? If these teachers do anything to you, you let me know. So the kid comes in with this attitude, wait on you to do something so he can tell his mama. Whereas the child should be taught, if anybody bothers you,
Right.
If anybody anywhere does anything to hurt you, you let me know.
Right. How long did you teach? And
I was in education. I was in education formally, paid because I taught before then. I volunteered in some places, but I started working for Chicago Public Schools in 1967.
What?
I
was born in '68.
I know. I'm an old woman. I retired.
What?
I retired from Chicago Public Schools after 34 years.
Wow.
And then I continued. I was teaching simultaneously at a university. So I continued working there I worked for them for 20 years. So after I retired from Chicago Public Schools, I still taught at Cambridge College. And then I taught at Loyola University. And
what subject did you study?
well, it's all education related. I taught at Cambridge. I taught also courses in administration and supervision for people who aspire to become principals. So I taught in the admin department. But education has always been my forte. When I was a kid, we used to play school, and I was always a teacher. And they would say, "We don't want to play because you're always a teacher."
So, Dr. Ellis, what are some real life consequences you've seen in children who suffer from not knowing their history and their worth and their potential?
Okay.
Name one or two.
Okay. Well, I've seen them.
And don't start with me, because you can give a couple of examples about me.
No, what I've seen. I've seen some of them get involved in alcoholism, drug dealing. Being in one community for 34 years was really an experience, because I got a chance to see two generations.
Yes, you did. And you would walk the streets in that Inglewood. I remember when Sandra didn't let me come to school, I was so upset. And there was a knock at my door. And it was Dr. Ellis saying, "Bring that child on the school. Miss Abrams, I'm coming to get Venita." And you might not even remember that. And walk me back to school.
I was an old-fashioned teacher.
I'm like the principal that came from those stuff, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that today.
Yeah, because they're probably
somebody might shoot you.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
But I've seen even while I was a principal, I had this one little boy. I heard he was selling drugs. And I called him in my office, and I told him, I said, I said, "It saddens me what you're doing." And the next weekend, he was dead.
Ooh.
Somebody shot him.
Oh, my.
He was with an adult, and somebody killed both of them.
Oh, my Lord.
So, I've had my share of tragedies. I've gone to a number of funerals. Finally, I said, I can't go to any more funerals of these kids that are being killed because of drug trafficking.
And then only if someone would have told them how important they really were, they probably would still be here. If you're listening right now, this is Venita Queen Abrams on Healing is Freedom podcast with my special guest, Dr. Nancy Ellis-Robinson, and we're talking about the cost of not knowing your worth, who you are, where you're from. And if you're out there right now and you don't feel loved, you don't know your worth, you know what? Get with someone that loves you. Call in and we'll tell you how much we love you. Research something Dr. Ellis said. She said that we got the internet right now. We all know that. Google your history. Find out. Then they got this ancestry thing. Find out where you're from. Know that you are from Africa. Know that you were kings and queens first who ruled, not slavery. You wasn't a slave first. We got captured from Africa and was enslaved. So knowing that you are all people from kings and queens who ruled, let that make you feel proud. Let that know how important you. Let that tell you that you are very important, that you are worthy. Okay? I just want to say that. So Dr. Ellis, this is our last question, but I want you to tell us about a historian. And I mentioned earlier, but any type of affirmation that you know from the historians in our life that can actually help someone out there that's listening right now.
Number him as my favorite historian. because he's written. One of his books is The Irritated Genie. He
I like that.
he explains about what happened to Haiti. How the Haitians the Haitians freed themselves for the French, but they paid a serious price for it. So Dr. Carruthers, his sense of just piggyback on what you're saying, if you know where you came from, he was interested in early African history.
Did he have like a quote or a saying?
I can't think of a quote, but the importance of just knowing where you come. You said it, knowing where you came from was so important to him, to know the true history. When we went to Egypt and we visited all of the tombs, and the tombs were empty.
Okay.
Because everything that was in the tomb was in the British Museum. They had stolen it. They had stolen all of the artifacts. He told us that, he said, you'll find the artifacts when we go to England. And we did. We went to England to the British Museum and we saw all of the artifacts.
I think it's so important to get around the world and travel.
Listen, that is the most...
I think that is so educational. I think the biggest educational journey you can ever take is a trip somewhere and learn something you never learned before.
Absolutely.
I'm going to Ghana August 9th.
I wish I could go with you.
I've been to South Africa twice. Okay. And the things I seen and learned and heard was life-changing.
No, it is. And then you see people that look like you.
Yes, or look like some people that I know. Absolutely. And they're from different tribes.
Absolutely.
I was like, okay, now that person looks like that person, so they're probably from that tribe.
I always said everybody in South Africa looked like Nelson Mandela to me. They all had the same kind of round face. Yeah.
Some of them have from different tribes. So we learned
but the South Africans have a distinct round face feature, And the Senegalese they tend to be slender. And the
Nigerians look like me.
Yeah.
With the cheekbones.
Yeah, right. The cheekbones.
Y'all see that?
Yeah.
I'm Nigerian.
Right. Yeah, but I would say Dr. Carruthers probably had.
Okay.
Dr. Carruthers had a profound effect upon me.
That's good.
In terms of knowing ancient African history, not just contemporary, but ancient African history. Well, he had us to read this novel, and it's called Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. He just died recently. And it's a wonderful book. It explains what happened when the white man came to Africa. It's done in the form of a novel, but it's not really a novel, but because it's like historical fiction, I would say.
So we're running it down, but I want you to look in the camera and tell a child that's listening to this, or a parent that's listening to this, something that they can do in their lives to feel worthy. Just like you said, Carruthers got some good. What would be a Dr. Ellis-Robinson?
Yeah, can I tell the story of my good friend, Dr. Carmen Hudson White? She was a mother on welfare. Her husband left her with 2 kids, and she said she had to do something. So she got on welfare and went back to school. After many trials and hardships, she graduated. She just retired as a female doctor. She became a doctor. And her thing, to me, she's the epitome that if you have a desire to do something, you have to have a desire to do something. That nothing can stop you. You're going to have challenges along the way, but if you have a desire to do something, because God put all of us here for a purpose. Everybody in life has a purpose, Venita. God has given every person on this earth a unique gift. I don't know what it is in you or the next person, but everybody has something unique. I've been on this earth 81 years, and I found that God has given everybody something unique. So you find out what it is that God has put you here for, and you pursue it.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter. It's not going to be easy. But when you fall and get back up, you learn something.
Yes, you do.
When you fall, every time you fall, there's an old saying, our trials only come to make us strong.
That's right.
I mean, and listen, I could tell you about my life, some of the trials. Just recently, I I had I had to have a valve replaced,
Mm-hmm.
and in the process, my heart stopped beating.
Ooh.
And I had an interesting experience between this earth and where we go the next place. But
Oh,
I'm a
wow.
stronger person, you know. I don't fear death because I know I've seen what the afterlife is like, you
Oh,
know.
wow.
Our trials only come. I can calm people and tell them, don't worry about dying. As my grandmother, who lived to be 100, used to tell us, just live, because dying is going to take care of itself.
Oh, and with that being said, just live. I like that.
Live, because dying is going to take care of itself.
So there is no cost because you know now. Just live, as Dr. Ellis just said so fluently. Just through everything you said today. That's basically what it is. Our ancestors, they just lived. Whatever came in before them, they fought through it.
That's it.
Our people, our ancestors fought through it.
Absolutely.
Our moms, our grandmothers, you fought through it.
Yeah.
And we are we look at all the strength, that's
Yeah.
the word, the strength that you all endured to push through this world that we call what? Life, right?
That's it.
So just live. Thank you so very
Thank
much,
you for
Dr.
inviting me.
Ellis,
Thank you
for
inviting
coming
me.
on Healing is Freedom. I am so in awe you being here, talking to you. It's like I'm here to let you know what you put in me. Something happened.
All right.
I know my worth.
All right.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Queen.
You're welcome. And so I'm going to end with this poem. You guys know I'm always ending with a poem. And thank you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share to Healing is Freedom. And yeah, let's hear it. The cost of not knowing. We wandered halls with empty hands. No map, no guide, no voice to stands. The books were closed, the truth denied, while dreams and purpose slowly died. They told us less and showed us none. Forgot our roots, what we've become. Erased the names, the battles fought, and left us chasing what they taught. No mirror held to show our face, no elder's tale to claim our place. We drank from fountains not of our own and wondered why we felt alone. But pain can teach when silence grows. The seeds of truth begin to show. A child can bloom from broken grounds when history's whispers wrap around. So teach them where the kings once stood. Tell them their names means I am good. Read them lines that set hearts free. Let them know their legacy. Let mothers speak. Let fathers rise. Let wisdom echoes. Let teachers live with healing hands and show our youth where justice stands. Let wisdom echo lullabies. Let teachers live with hands and show our youth where justice stands. The cost of not knowing is far too steep. It steals our purpose while we sleep. But knowledge heals and love can grow a future that our children will know. Have a great day and thank you so very much.